I'm assuming that because you use Lemlist for your own prospecting, you might have access to some campaigns. Do you have some favorite plays you're seeing from some of your users?
We see more and more usage of intent. And it's actually scary to talk about that with you. Like you're the best person like to do outreach out there. So I'll be judged, but you can challenge me. That's fine.
Let's go.
I don't know as well as you. I need to explain that, but I think for me, like intent has been the thing that is trendy and it's remaining trendy. Actually, I posted on LinkedIn several times about that. I think lead generation is really the point that's important in prospection, that people think a lot that prospection is about copywriting, iterating on what you write, A/B testing, spin syntax and stuff like that. I think it's really important, but I do think it has less important than actually lead generation. And I like this example of like, if you sell water in the desert, which would mean like having a very strong intent, because the person is potentially thirsty. Even if you don't speak the language, you can sell you water, so you don't need a good copywriting for that. So I think the people tend to think that I will take just average leads, I will spray and pray, I will put like 10,000, 20,000 leads in a spreadsheet, and I will just maximize and optimize my copywriting, and at the end I will have no answer, and I will be like, this is really weird. Like I've tried awesome copywriting, I have tried GIFs, I have tried memes, nothing is working. But so this doesn't work. And so data, I think, is around a lot about intent. Actually, I was thinking recently, the way that you can see that as a company is, and I think the way I would do it is like, if you have already some customers and wins, I would go back to the customers that I actually signed, and I would ask myself, like, why did they sign with me? What is the one reason why I think this customer, And
you could ask them as well.
Yeah, you can ask them, of course. So because you've done the sales process, but you can ask them, of course. And why now? Like, why did you take it now? What
changed?
What changed exactly? Is it someone new that come in the company and that wanted to implement this tool? Is it that you raised money? So I'm taking, of course, like very famous, intense stuff. But and then asking, like, is there ways for me to capture this information when it's available? So for instance, for Lemlist, we sell to sales team. So someone is joining as head of sales. So the company didn't have an head of sales. There is a head of sales joining. 2 months after, they equip with Lemlist. And so basically, why did they Lemlist? Okay, because the head of sales wanted to scale the SDR team. He was hired to scale the SDR team. And so he took a tool like quite quickly because he wanted to have the right process and the right tools to scale the team. So how can we identify that? It's easy. Like, if the company has a head of sales or not. Actually, we have a database that do that. You can have other database like Sales Navigator, stuff like that. First hire of head of sales, it's strong intent. So how can I identify the companies that have a first hire of head of sales and contact them at this time with a personalized outreach saying, you've just been joining this company as head of sales. Maybe you'll want to set up the right process and the right tools. I'm sure I can help you. So can we chat? So that's an example. So I think it goes back to intent. So if I goes into specific cases and some that I've noted, one that I like is around lookalike of customers. So for instance, like when you have a new customer, you will use tools that give you lookalike. That's, for instance, Ocean.io. And Ocean.io will tell you, okay, you have signed a deal with let's take Swan. So lookalike companies that do banking, core banking like Swan does. I'll give you 5 examples, and so you can outreach to them saying, like, I've just signed with Swan. This is what the use case that they had with us. Do you think it can be relevant for us to talk? And in this case, there is quite a strong intent because you're touching competition. They are like, oh, see, if Swan is doing that, I should do it too. Okay. So this works very well, for instance. So that's an example of intent. You have an intent around old champion that maybe you know that, for instance, I was a user of Lever and ATS in my previous company. And when I joined Lemlist, a sales contacted me and say, you've been a user of Lever in your past company. Would you consider implementing Lever in your new company? So that's a very good one. And you have to map like your users in your CRM and see with LinkedIn whether they change job and contact them at the time they change job. So
did you do it?
Yeah, we do it. Yeah.
So the person that reached out to you after you changed jobs.
Yeah, we have lever.
Okay, so they made it. So it actually
they
worked.
made it.
Okay,
it was a great
so
one.
we have a proven strategy here.
Yeah, I will give one that I really like is Alan is doing that, and I think it's really smart. So they use Clay, or I think it's a Clay alternative, but the idea is the same. So basically they identify. So Alan is a health insurance company, health benefits, and so they have many offerings around like wellness and so what Marie-Hélène does is that she identified different websites like where there are articles about companies around, for instance, a financial statement, public communication, and so she scraps automatically. She send an agent to search the name of the company she's willing to get the information for, and she scraps the page and she send that to ChatGPT, and she asks ChatGPT based on all of this like long text, tell me if this company has engagement in matters of like personal, like wellness, engagement towards like I don't know, maternity leaves or stuff like that, and ChatGPT is able to like digest all the content and gives points, and then based on that she makes this information available for sales. So they are, when they call, for instance, they are very well aware of like the saying like, okay, I've seen that you have a very generous policy for paternity, so you know that at Alan we offer this type of benefits that's on top of other health insurance, and so that could be interesting for you to know more. So it's pretty smart, and they can use it even for emailing, putting all this in a template of email and making the email unique. Thanks to AI. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very custom. It's really, I mean, you mentioned ChatGPT, but it's really the idea of deploying AI agents and then like look at some specific information. Do they have this? Do they not have this? And then use this as a basis for deciding to reach out to people, to companies or not.
100%, exactly. So that can be, as you say, like can be used for scoring. 100%. So it's a mix of like having the information and using the data for scoring and for prioritizing accounts. And I think there are a lot of innovation around engagement. So we launched a feature called LinkedIn Voice Note that allows to send LinkedIn Voice Note, and it's very popular for sales team. We have it's a feature that it's not so much used. Only 10% of the users use it, a bit less, but the retention is huge. So people who use it, they use it over time. So I think they see a lot of value. So that's one that works very well.
I think the voice notes is very difficult to ignore. If you get a voice note, you just wonder what's the voice of the person. And so even if you were not intending to reply, you want to listen to it.
Some people don't like it, but it works, and we have very good feedbacks about that. There is another feature that we see like conditions. We have in campaigns you can add conditions, and something that we see is like for instance, when someone open an email long time after the email was sent, you know that it's a strong intent, because it's like they put the email on a folder, and because it was not a priority at that time, and maybe 3 months after they will reopen the email, and at that time it's really important to be able to follow up. So there are a lot of workflows like that around like automating campaigns and using conditions in the campaign, because this can provide a strong signal that the topic is becoming interesting for your buyer.
I like this one. Typically, it's not random. If someone opens an email, say 4 months after you send them the last one, they're essentially looking for it, and so something is about to happen.
Clearly, it's the right time to call.